Sutradhars, the Indian. Yes. Yes, sorry. Indian folk theatre is as old as centuries. It had patronage of the public as well as. So this is how this the histories, the archaeologists, how over the period of time they were unearthed certain kind of inscriptions, certain kind of dolls, certain kind of terracotta that are able to tell the kind of way the patronage of a particular uh, region, a particular local, particular user of the particular way that will able to just focus, that will able to promote, that will able to identify them with the kind of presentation of their particular kind of a lore. So the rock edicts of the years mentioned about the inams, the gifts donated are presented to these folk artists when the Maharajas and Nawabs are pleased at the performance. So they will use the kind of a inams, the kind of a gifts they will give away to the those who are perform in front of the ruler and Nawabs. They will, when they please, they will able to give the kind of a inam. So the Surabhi is one such example of an age-old tradition of a folk theater in Andhra Pradesh. So still in Telangana as well as also there was Surabhi, not Surabhi Natakalo, Surabhi kind of a theater. They will just put up on they will just go on this organizing nowadays, as well as it's also happening in the Lalitakal Tournam, Airbnb in the Ravindrabad. They will just organize their Surabhi Natakal. So next, Burrakatha artists also give the entertainment to the common folk as well as. Yes, yeah, sure. These the themes included the historical, mythological, and social items. During the freedom movement, this format utilized in enlightening the public about the freedom struggle. The Tamasha artist and Jatra also played a similar role in the pre-independence area. So these are they will use the mythological and historical events that are able to element, that able to express, that able to just glorify a particular particular kind of a ruler, or maybe particular kind of a event that will narrate in a particular manner, so that can be able to more attractive kind of this. Tamasha street play format in Maharashtra, Pavada is represented mostly by telling the stories of history, Maharashtrians. So they will use the Pavala kind of a Pavada, the kind of a word, so they will used to just present the telling the stories of a history of the Maharashtrians. Next, Kirtana, melodrama kind of thing. Single actor portrays different characters. So that way they will be able to explain that, able to narrate. Next, Yakshagana, widely popular in Karnataka, another type of a folklore drama. Next, Nautanki. It is performed openly, irrespective to any special arrangement as done in Jatra, West Bengal, Odisha, Tripura, Assam. So this kind of a Nautanki, it will be done with the kind of any kind of a special organization, any kind of a special arrangements. So it is organized teamwork and performed a well set up professionals and groups are kind of a well professionals. So this kind of a Nautanki, even in Hyderabad also few people just organize on a social cause Nautakis in Secunderabad as well as in Kachiguda. So they will just put up the kind of a socialist, take up the socialism that able to just explain the using this Nautanki performance. So then Bhavai, so extremely adored in Gujarat as a dramatic form. This is the dramatic form. Tirukutu is combination of a different puppetry. It is a charming street theater composed in accordance with the music, drama, and dances of a classical flavor. So that is how that will be used the different kind of folks, different regions. So Ram Leela, Rash Leela. So especially celebrated in Northern India presents a series of stories on Lord Rama. So that way use the particular kind of a way that will be able to explain. Next, street theater. The street theater appeared vigorously in Indian mass communication. So theater that will just put up the different locations that will be region level that will be able to just explain the different kind of a narration. So next, Burakatha. It's a famous in Andhra Pradesh. It's performed by the main artist assisted by two side artists. So that way Burakatha. So that will be Tana Tandana kind of thing that will be able to just narrate. They will use the mythological as well as the historical aspects, events that will be able to explain continuously. So India is a pluralistic country, as we know. So with varied tastes and cultures, languages, traditional media played a significant and a different role in the Indian environment, which preached peace to the world through personalities like Buddha, Mahavira, Shankara, and Kabir. These are the slogans, kind of Kabir Kaha, Shankaracharya's maybe verses, Mahavira, Buddha. So these are the way they will use, they will just propagate, they will just explain, that they will give. So these are the formats by the rural urban artists created an overwhelming atmosphere of the richness of our culture to the world. So after independence, its role in the demonstrating development and activities has become. So these are the folk media has been used by Indian government as well as to in order to just disseminate information. They are to just pass on the message. The but maybe related to this, superstitions, letting the social to just remove the social evils, able to promote family planning kind of thing. So they will use this kind of folk media, traditional media to just disseminate, just pass on the message, try to just convince the people to just adopt a particular scheme, go for polio drops, or maybe just adopt for family planning. This kind of strategies Indian government used to just reach the pass on the message. The folk media, the other medium also mass communication allows rural audience to come closer to the social media such media. Sorry. So they are just more attached to rural media. Rural people will be more attached to this kind of a folklore for local dialects, local kind of a performance. They will just easily able to imbibe, able to just get attached and able to just get the information easily. So we have the unity in diversity is one of the main strength of the Indian one. So yes. Right. So from Kashmir to Kanyakumari, traditional artists perform and just blend the themes so that the audience are united when an emergency occurs. So that kind of a way from Kashmir to Kanyakumari, the kind of a different folklore, that kind of a different uh, method that will use to just reach and in kind of in kind of emergency or kind of any disaster, any kind of a thing, they will through this kind of a way, they will able to just pass on the message. They were successful in bringing out the required change in the mindset in the perspective of the caste and creed. Yes, pre-independence. Just moving on to the pre-independence in India. So, how the press in India is more than a century, 2 centuries. Credit for bringing out the first full-fledged print newspaper in India goes to James August Hickey. So as we know, so the first issue appeared on January 29, 1780 in Calcutta, bearing the title Bengal Gazette or the Calcutta General Advertiser. So this is the first person, this is the one who just pointed. Yes, somebody has passed on the message. Yes, thank you. Yeah,
Please continue, sir.
yes, thank you. Uh, the So as we know, so the first newspaper that appeared on January 29, so 1780 in Calcutta, bearing sorry, with the title of a Bengal Gazette and the Calcutta General Advertiser. So initially that how the Indian soil, the first newspaper was started in Kolkata. So this, I mean, just on Saturday, January 2009, sorry, January 29, so 17 appeared the Bengal Gazette at Kolkata, the city of Kolkata, the founder, editor, printer, promoter, all roll in one of that particular paper. So you can see the one and whole. Yeah, could you please mute Redmi 7A? Yes, it was a first. It was started as a bi-weekly. It was started as a weekly. Sorry, not bi-weekly. It was started as a weekly. It consists of 2 pages of 12 inches by 8. So 12 inches by 8. So it was started with the 2 pages. So Hickey announced the policy of his paper and declared that his was a weekly political and commercial paper open to all parties, but influenced by none. So it's given the word, given the quotation that is not influenced by any parties, open to all the kind of information. So it is nobody has any kind of influence on a particular this paper. So he's, I mean, open to all papers. So they will able to just give the all kind of information to all. It's been weekly political and commercial paper open to all parties kind of thing. So that way it will also just explain and express that it is influenced by none. Just Madras Courier. So October 12, 1785, the Madras Courier was founded by Richard Johnson, the government printer in Madras. So the other paper that was started in Madras, southern region. So it was weekly paper consisted of 4 pages. The paper was allowed by a government to circulate through the post office free of charge within the presidency. So Madras, there is Madras presidency. We were also in the Madras presidency. So there will be given the free postal charges, free of charge. Any kind of they will use the postal service free of charges to circulate their newspaper. In the particular Madras Presidency. In February 1975, the Madras Gazette was started by R. Williams, whose object was to introduce Persian other Oriental types. So that way, so next paper it will started in 1795. So Madras Gazette started by Williams. So newspapers in presidency, Mumbai presidency. So in 17.
ఎక్స్క్యూజ్ మీ సార్, సారీ ఫర్ ఇంటరప్షన్.
Yes.
సార్ మీరు హోస్ట్ ఉన్నారు కదా సార్, అందరికి మ్యూట్ చేసేయండి సార్, పార్టిసిపెంట్ అందరిని.
I'm not host, but supposed to the Ambedkar Open University people has to just mute, so I have no right.
Yeah. Please check WhatsApp.
Yes.
WhatsApp official group.
Right. So I'm muted. Okay. Right.
Thank you, sir.
Done. It's activate. Just we're discussing about the newspaper in the Mumbai presidency. So in 1979, the Mumbai Herald was the first weekly newspaper published in Mumbai. So next, Mumbai Courier 1790 was the second newspaper. The Mumbai Gazette was published in 1791. In its first year, it clashed with the government over a comment on the conduct of the police. So the police is, the news article, news item that able to just present it, so that we got the ire of the police. So as a result, it was attacked to submit proof sheets of the paper to the government for pre-censorship. So that way, so whatever that will able to publish, they need to just go for pre-censorship. So they need supposed to submit their proof sheets before government, so as to they will pre-censor and they will allow the particular item to just publish. In 1792, the Mumbai Herald and the Mumbai Gazette were so both amalgamated. So that is combined. So that this Mumbai Herald as this merged into one thing. Next, James Silk Buckingham. So editor of Calcutta Chronicle. He was the editor of Calcutta Chronicle. Through his columns for 5 years, he kept the company officials on their toes. So he's the person. So he's Britisher. He's continuously go on criticizing the activities, goes on criticizing the officials. British officials. That whatever the irregularities, what kind of information that will that is they're through publishing information against the government. So he's continuously criticizing the officials, company officials. That way they will attract the government officials as well as he also continuously for 5 years he kept writing the columns. So he was also fearless in condemning the certain Indian customs like sati, the government's failure to put an end to them. So sati was more predominant during these days. So he also continuously condemned the kind of customs that was prevalent and those like sati. Buckingham laid emphasis on a news of a local conditions. Later he was deported to England. So because of his writings, because of his columns, that attracted British ire. So that's why he deported to London, England. So next, Raja Ram Mohan Rai. So Raja Ram Mohan was one of the pioneer who was a social reformer, considered as the father of Indian journalism. So Raja Ram Mohan Rai was born as Radhanagar in the district of Hooghly on May 22, 1772. While Ram Mohan was hardly 9, his father got him married 3 times. This happening so colored his whole afterlife. So that kind of a disturbance is there. So Raja Ram Mohan also connected with another Bengali weekly called Sambandh Kaumudi, an 8-page paper published every Tuesday morning. So he also founder of a Brahma Samaj. So that way, social reformer. So that next, moving on to the social reforms and the press, how the social reforms, how the newspaper has played a crucial role during to just bring about the social reform in society. So press played as a social awakening. Whatever the social levies, what are the social superstition that are prevalent during those days, civils continuously try to just present the bad effects and maybe bad things about the particular racial, particular social activities, social evils. So that also containing also just bring about this changes through their articles, through their columns, different people that will be able to just focus certain kind of reforms. So as to the social conditions in the beginning 19th century were depressing, the most distressing. Yeah, the most distressing was the position of a woman. The birth of a girl was unwelcome. Her marriage, a burden, her widowhood inauspicious. So these are the main conditions that were prevailing. So girl child was unwelcome. Yes, somebody. Yes. Sorry. Yeah. The most the distressing part of was the position of the women. So we know, so the birth of girl was during those days unwelcome. So marriage was a burden, considered as a marriage burden. So her widow is considered as unauspicious kind of thing. So that when their husband died, they were expected to commit the sati, which Ram Mohan Rai described as a murder according to the every Shastra. So that way, so Raja Ram Mohan Rai, so he's continuously condemned as well. So this kind of a custom should be abolished. So he also struggled and he also bring about requested the British government as well as to just ban this kind of a custom in Indian society. So another debilitating factor was caste. The rules and regulations of the caste hampered social mobility and fostered social divisions and sapped with individual initiatives. Several newspapers played a crucial role in supporting social reforms during the months. So this is about caste. So caste also one of the major thing that will divide the society. That will cast certain kind of people. Are supposed to just stay away from the society. They are supposed to just stay out of the boundaries of the particular village. So they are not allowed, they are not given them drinking water, the kind of certain kind of caste. There, as we know, the Varna system, so they are just most strictly during those days, they have just followed and caste was played predominant role. So that way, the Indian society was divided. So the newspaper identified the kind of things. So suppose we go divided the society, the kind of a goal, the kind of a aim that we need to just achieve independence, which we cannot able to achieve. So we unitedly we can achieve the independence. So we need to unite. So that kind of a uniting role, that kind of a caste discrimination should be avoided. So that way, so everybody should be allowed to be able to just move ahead and just move together, so that we can able to fight against the huge empire. That way they will be able to create some sort of consciousness, certain kind of through their columns, through their writings, certain way they're able to just try to just eliminate a certain kind of a caste discrimination. So it took keen interest in the social questioning, like so that's the casteism, so Kulanism as we'll call in Telugu. So widow remarriages. So Darpan, one of the papers, so Darpan plays an important role in mobilizing the public opinion in support of their emancipation, so liberty. So Darpan also played, just mobilizing the public opinion. So in order to just widow remarriages, so liberty, giving the liberty to the widow. So they gain allowed to just remarriage. That kind of Darpan has played in the crucial role in mobilizing the public opinion in support of the emancipation of the women. So in 19th century, most of the social reforms issues in Bengal centered around the amelioration of the conditions of women. So it was brought out by Srinath Roy in March, Sambat Bhaskar. So the Srinath Roy in March 1839. So it deal with the burning social, educational, and political questions of the time: the widow remarriage, abolition of polygamy, women's education, and Sanatal rebellion. So these are the main way. So this particular newspaper that will just promote it, that will focus the political questions of time at the particular time: the widow marriage, abolition of the polygamy, women's education. They propagate the women's education. So that way they'll be able to just Samant Kumri has played a major role. It hailed the enactment of the Act of the 11 of the 1956 legalizing the widow remarriage. So it will try to just promote the legalizing the widow remarriage. Next, press and social reforms in Mumbai presidency. So on January 6, 1832, so Bala Sastri published first number of his paper, Darpan Mirror. It was fortnightly to begin. Yes. Yeah, sorry. On 6th, Bala Sastri published the first number of his, Darpan, called Mirror. It was fortnightly to begin with, but became a weekly on May 4th, 1832. So article asking people to enter the government services, and religious controversies. Through articles, religious controversies, or maybe ask the people to just enter the government services so that they can able to know. So the better the way kind of a functioning the British government, so they're able to react according to the way how the officials, government officials have been doing, so that they can know the strategies. So next, Gopal Rao Hari Deshmukh. So he was translating Deccan Sardans and Inamdas rose gradually to the stage of the session judge. The associated with some newspapers like Dhyan Prakash, Hindu Prakash, Holy Hitwadi. So these are the papers, Gopal Rao Harimukh, how it will be just how it will be just started gradually. So he started, he started the Hindu Prakash and Anglo Marathi Daily. The main emphasis of the newspaper also social reform. So that way, this Gopal Rao Hari Deshmukh also through Hindu Prakash. So he's trying to just bring about the social change in society. Next, Mahadev Govind Ranade. So 1842 to 1901. So he was an eminent social reformer, distinguished scholar, and an educationist. Served as a Marathi translator, a professor of English, an administrator, and judge as well. So he edited the English section of the Hindu Prakash. So edited Marathi and the Hindu Prakash. So Hindu Prakash English version. Thought-provoking articles on social reforms and political subjects. He was a prolific writer on economic and social subjects in the Sarvajanik and Sabha Journal. Yes, Hariprasad, do you have any doubts? Yes, just Mahadev Rane. So he was a judge and a professor of English. So he's just edited the English section of the Hindu Prakash. So also through his articles, he tried to just mobilize. He tried to just focus on the social and political subjects. He's considered as a prolific writer on economic and social subjects in the Sarvajanik Sabha Journal as well. So next, Dinabandhu. So in the middle of the 19th century, Jyotirao Phule, so 1827 to 1890, so began to fight against the exploitation of the lower caste by higher caste Hindus. So that way, so Jyotirao Phule, so 19th century has been also worked against them, just worked to just reform, just bring about the social change in society, the ventilate the grievances of the downtrodden, and his friend Krishna Rao Bhaskar started the Dinabandhu in 1877. Dinabandhu was started in 1977. The paper made a forceful plea for the eradication of the caste system for a long time. The social reform movement was led by the yes. Yeah, sure. I will share this PPT, no problem. So after this session, I will before 5 minutes before, I will just share the PPT in a group. Okay, no issue. Yeah, so Dinabandhu. So that way Dinabandhu was started. So the paper most forcefully plea for the eradication of the caste system for a long time, and social reform movement was led by the higher caste people. The paper soon became almost the official organ of the Satya Shodak Samaj, Satyasojak Samaj, founded by Jyotiba on September 24, 1873. So, this became the official organ of the Satya Shodak Samaj that will just promoting this, that's more concentrating on the social reforms. So, yeah, Robert Knight. So, in 1861, Robert Knight, the editor of the Mumbai Times, amalgamated his paper with the Mumbai Standard and the combined the Telegraph and the Courier to form the Times of India. So how the Times of India formed the which paper, the Mumbai Times as well as the Mumbai Standards combined and just merged and just become as a Times of India. Mumbai Times, which had a made intense progress since its some obscure start as a biweekly in 1838. So that way, how the Times of India started in India. The press in South. So far away in the South, presidency of Madras, the battle for social reforms was awakening. Uh, sorry, awakening by taken up by the Hindu through the brilliant effort of its editor Subramanya Iyer. The Hindu paper campaign were a widow remarriage, raising the age of marriage, abolition of caste, and uplift of the untouchables. So these are the things that the Hindu people as South India has played a crucial role in social reforms that will focus as well as campaign for a widow remarriage and rising of an age of marriage and abolition of a caste system and upliftment of the untouchables in society. So next, Kandukuri Veerasilingam Pantulu. So one of the pioneer social reformer in Andhra Pradesh, undivided Andhra Pradesh as well. So Andhra Kandukuri Veerasilingam spearheaded the social reforms movement. In 1885, he started from Rajahmundry a journal called the Vivekavardhini. So he set up the printing press of his own to conduct his journal, mostly devoted to language reforms and allied education matters. He started to just reform, just bring about literary changes in Telugu language. So he just started with the journal devoted to only for language reforms. So we bring about it may be about the colloquial language, the kind of official language, the kind of differentiation, the language development, literary aspects of the language. He had also started another magazine called Hasyavardhini, which was devoted to the fun and frolic. So Hasyavardhini is devoted basically so a magazine that will be having the poems as well as being just concentrated on the items like just fun items or maybe just focusing uh, maybe presented in hilaric kind of aspects and just able to just entertain manner in an entertaining manner. Next, Sahitya Hitabodhini was a magazine which was founded to cater to the women readers as well as. Next, Sahitya Hitabodhini was focused the women issues, women aspects, uh, women issues, women events. So particularly, Sahitya Duboni was bring out just develop and just focus on the women issues. Yes. So this is press and social reforms. So because of the contribution of social reforms, the press sati practice was abolished in 1829 and the Video Remarriage Act was legalized in 1856 and the age of marriage was raised in 1891. So these are the social reforms, how this social reform this newspaper has played crucial role. So because of this, continuous focusing on social reforms, widow remarriages, sati abolition of sati practice, and writing the articles in the newspapers. So that bring about the changes in the. Uh, they also just focus through articles and able to just bring about the sati practice. Practice was abolished in 1829 and the widow remarriage was legalized in 1856 and the age of marriage was raised in 1891. So these are the kind of way the social reform, the press has played a crucial role during these days. Just I am sharing another PPT. Just give me 1 minute.
హలో
Yes.
నమస్తే సార్.
Yes, sir. Yes,
నమస్తే
sir.
సార్. పుండస్వామి దిస్ సైడ్.
Yes, sir.
పుండస్వామి దిస్ సైడ్. పుండస్వామి.
Yes, 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 yes. I'm just seeing you, sir. Your name as well as your yes, yes, yes. Yeah, welcome to the class, sir. Right. Just uploaded, so it's, I think it's visible, I believe. Yeah, just I will discuss about the pre-independence, so as well as the language press in Indian soil. So, what are the growth aspects that will just facilitate it to just emerge, just growth? So, reasons for growth of the press, newspapers. So, rise of the literacy rate, expansion of middle class, untapped market, education for women, technological advancement, better purchasing power, aggressive marketing strategy, and political awareness. These are the factors that led to the growth of the newspaper on Indian soil. So rise of literacy rate. So education, so the kind of a propagation, the kind of a newspaper, the pre-independence day. So that way people will started educating, just getting the knowledge, getting the literacy, getting able to literate. So that way literacy is been started growing. Then expansion of middle class. So then accidentally or instantly, the expansion of middle class started. Then education for women. Women also education was started. And also they are giving imparting or just also giving the education. They identified the importance of the women education as well as the availability of the printing technology, advancement of technology also available, and the better purchasing power, and people are just getting the jobs as well as the employment opportunities, so that way the purchasing power also increased, and an aggressive marketing strategy, and as well as newspapers started using the aggressive marketing strategy, so that they're able to just convince the people to just go for a subscription. So then as well as political awareness also, just getting people out of political awareness. Just they want to know what is what is going on around surrounding there and political activities in the state and nation. So that also facilitated to the growth of the newspaper. So that way growth, a race to reach this audience, said a race began to reach this audience, said Robin Joffrey, the author of the Indian newspaper revolution. So this is the book he has written in book, particularly about Indian language journalism. He has written a particular book. So Robin Joffrey. So in his book, it's mentioned the race kind of began to reach the audience. The circulation of Hindi newspaper, for example, risen from less than 8 million in the early 90s to the 25 millions in 2009. So that kind of a growth. So that kind of a the evolve of the development of the growth will just witness the growth and periodical and language press. The Indian language newspapers, especially Hindi, Malayalam, Marathi, Telugu, are seeing some phenomenal growth. So that kind of in these particular languages has been just witnessed the phenomenal growth of the newspapers. This is evidence from the growth in both copies and readers, and purchasing power as well as increased. The periodicals in India. So in India, so register of newspaper report categorize the periodicals into 21 groups. The second, as we second press commission report classified them into 10 categories: news, news and current affairs journals; second, opinion journals; farm journals; economic and financial journals; science journals; literary and cultural journals; women journals; children journals; sports and film journals. So second press commission just classified into 10 categories. So these are the classified. So, news and current affairs journals. So that's when newspapers and opinion journals, certain kind of opinion journals, they will just only write about the opinion journals, and farm journals that will be only for concentrating the farms kind of technology, the farmers. So economic and financial journals, there are only financial aspects and economic aspects of the society, or maybe the business. They will talk about the business and the financial aspects. And science journals, they'll only just concentrate on the science and whatever the new innovation, what are the new discovery, they will discuss about the science, what are the new aspects in the science that's happening in the and literary and cultural journals. So that will be focusing on the culture and the literary development and language kind of thing. Next, women journals, basically the women issues, women empowerment kind of issues will concentrated in the women journals. And children journals, that may be the kind of a moral stories, or maybe kind of a cartoons and caricatures, that kind of a inspirational stories that will be printed in children journals and sports journals. So only for sports, maybe various aspects, various sports activities will cover in the sports journal. Film journals, so as you know, popularly film journals are more popular. So the film journals, they will cinema, new latest news releases, maybe news items will be covered in film journals. So this is why the press commission was classified. Next, periodicals. So features of a news and current affairs periodic. Yes.
సార్ ఇది థర్డ్ చాప్టర్ తర్వాత ఫోర్త్ చాప్టర్ కాకుండా ఫిఫ్త్ చాప్టర్ కి వచ్చినామా సార్ మనం?
అంతే లాస్ట్ టైం కొన్ని ఆస్పెక్ట్స్ మనం కవర్ చేసాం. సో లాస్ట్ క్లాస్ లో సో ఏదైతే ప్రీవియస్ లో కవర్ చేసిందో ఫోక్ మీడియా యాక్చువల్లీ ఫస్ట్ చాప్టర్ లో ఉండింది. సో దాన్ని కవర్ చేసుకుంటూ స్లోగా ప్రీ ఇండిపెండెన్స్ కి వెళ్ళి దాని తర్వాత ఇప్పుడు దీంట్లో సో మన లాంగ్వేజ్ ప్రీ ఇండిపెండెన్స్ ప్రీ ఎమర్జెన్సీ ఆస్పెక్ట్స్ వచ్చాము. సో సెకండ్ చాప్టర్ లో 1 మినిట్ సో ఏమని అంటారు?
నార్మల్ గా మనకి హిస్టరీ ఆఫ్ కమ్యూనికేషన్ ఇండియా తర్వాత ఫోక్స్ ఆర్ట్ మీడియా
అది అయిపోయింది. ఎర్లీ కమ్యూనికేషన్ ఫస్ట్ డే ప్రీ హిస్టరీ మనం హిస్టరీ ఎలా డివైడ్ చేసామో దాని ప్రకారంగా డిస్కస్ చేసాము.
ప్రీ ఇండిపెండెంట్ ఇండియా ప్రెస్
అదే ప్రీ ఇండిపెండెన్స్ డిస్కస్ చేసాము ఈ రోజు. నేను మొన్న లాస్ట్ క్లాస్ లో కొన్ని అయింది. సో ఈ రోజు ఈ క్లాస్ లో ఫోక్ మీడియా యాజ్ వెల్ as ప్రీ ఇండిపెండెన్స్ కవర్ చేసాము. మేజర్ పేపర్స్ సౌత్ లో నార్త్ లో.
ఇప్పుడు ప్రెస్ అండ్ ఫ్రీడమ్ మూవ్మెంట్ ఫోర్త్ చాప్టర్ సార్. అది
ప్రెస్ అండ్ ఫ్రీడమ్ మూవ్మెంట్ నెక్స్ట్ అది కవర్ చేస్తున్నా. సో ఇది పీరియాడికల్స్. సో అది ప్రెస్ అండ్ ఫ్రీడమ్ మూవ్మెంట్. సో ఓకే, సో అది కవర్ చేసిన తర్వాత దీనికి వద్దామండి. ఓకే రైట్, థ్యాంక్ యూ. జస్ట్ ఐ విల్ గో బ్యాక్. జస్ట్
సో ఇది లాస్ట్ క్లాస్ లో అట చేశారు కదా సార్, ఇది ప్రెస్ అండ్ ఫ్రీడమ్ మూవ్మెంట్.
దాంట్లో కొన్ని ప్రెస్ అండ్ ఫ్రీడమ్ మూవ్మెంట్ కొన్ని కవర్ చేశాను లాస్ట్ క్లాస్ లో. సో ఏదైతే ఎవరైతే మనం ఇంతకుముందు ఆఫ్లైన్ క్లాస్ లో జాయిన్ అయినప్పుడు కొంతమంది లైట్ గా జాయిన్ అయ్యారనే ఉద్దేశంతో కొన్ని మళ్ళీ ఫస్ట్ నుంచి స్టార్ట్ చేసుకొచ్చారు అనమాట. కమ్యూనికేషన్ ఫస్ట్ చాప్టర్, సెకండ్ చాప్టర్ ఫోక్ మీడియా, తర్వాత ఇండిపెండెన్స్ అండ్ ప్రెస్, తర్వాత దాని తర్వాత ఇప్పుడు ఈ ప్రీ ఎమర్జెన్సీ పీరియడ్ మాట్లాడుతున్నాం.
సార్ ఫోర్త్ చాప్టర్ లో బాల్ గంగాధర్ తిలక్ వరకు వచ్చింది కదా టాపిక్.
బాల్ గంగాధర్ తిలక్ కూడా డిస్కస్ చేసినట్లు ఐ బిలీవ్. చేసామో
చేయలేదు, అక్కడికి మిస్ అయినాం. అక్కడికి అయిపోయింది, టైం అయిపోయింది లాస్ట్ క్లాస్ లో.
బాల్ గంగాధర్ తిలక్, ఓకే.
యా, ప్రెస్ యాజ్ opposition and organizing role. These are the topics we have missed last class.
Okay, so freedom of press. Okay, just 1 minute. Just give me 1 minute. I will open that. సో రిజిడ్ లాస్ దాని గురించి కూడా డిస్కస్ చేసాం అనుకుంటా. ఏ లాస్ ఏ వచ్చాయి ఫ్రమ్ టైం టు టైం. టైమ్స్ ఆఫ్ ఇండియా గురించి,
ద హిందూ,
స్టేట్స్మెన్,
ద స్టేట్స్మెన్,
హిందూ, the freedom struggle and role of the press.
రోల్ ఆఫ్ ది ప్రెస్ లో ప్రెస్ యాజ్ అపోజిషన్ నుంచి స్టార్ట్ చేయాలి సార్.
ఓకే, ప్రెస్ యాజ్ అపోజిషన్, రైట్. ఓకే, సో అది నేను షేర్ చేస్తాను, రైట్. ఓకే, yes. Right, sorry. Yes, press as a opposition, as a role of opposition. So every act and policy of the government was subject to the sharp criticism. So during those days, so press as an opposition to the government, so the existing government, the British government, so acted as just continuously just sharp criticism, whatever the aspects, whatever the atrocities, whatever the evils that will do against the Indians, that will just continuously criticizing the British government. So that way they played a crucial role as an opposition party leader. So when Tilak was sentenced to 18 months imprisonment, talking to an official, he said the Anglo-Indian newspaper have branded me anti-British, but they forget that I pay the highest tribute to the British and their character by following their example again. As there is no opposition in India, somebody has to perform the duties of the opposition. I have constituted myself and my two newspapers as the permanent opposition of His Ministry of Government of India. So that way, so Balagangatha Tilak in his paper, so when he's sent to the Military jail, he just explained, so what kind of a role, why there is no opposition. So that way, the opposition role, our newspapers, that mean particular two papers, the Kesari and the Marathi was paper played a crucial role as an opposition leader. So that way, he will mention the role, the opposition role of the newspapers, how they are, particular newspaper played as opposition role. So in his, when he sentenced to the 18 months jail, so during that day, so he's written his column in his newspaper mentioning that newspaper is playing the opposition because there is nobody there. So as again, I just in quote, the Anglo-Indian newspapers have branded me anti-British, but they forget that I pay the highest tribute to the British and their character by following their example again. As there is no opposition in India, somebody has to perform the duties of the opposition. I have constituted myself and my two newspapers as the permanent opposition of British governments. So that way he will just focus explain the kind of way the opposition role played by the newspapers. The most of the newspaper acted as the organizer as well as the publicist of the nationalism. So that way nationalism. So they try to bring about, they try to just focus, they try to ignite nationalism, national consciousness among the people. So they are just organizers, they are just mobilizer as well as mobilizer, organizer to the people, that's just igniting nationalism among the people. The first resolution of the Indian National Congress was moved by Subramania Iyer, editor of the Hindu newspaper. So the newspaper also carried out the task of propagating its resolution and the proceedings. So whatever the resolutions taken in the Indian National Congress that was promoted, that propagated through these newspapers. The press as a mobilizer. The influence of the press was not confined to the cities or large towns, extended beyond its literate subscribes to reach to the remote villages as well as. So the press has not just confined to the cities and large towns. They just try to reach to the remote villages, so that they can able to just organize, they're able to just mobilize the people one cause. Whenever the national leaders give the call, they're able to just know the information, so that they can understand, they can able to just take the call and just do whatever the message, whatever the information that's given by the national leaders. That way they will able to try to mobilize the people to reaching the remote villages, and they act as a mobilizer. As a local library would be organized around a single newspaper. So there will be this, in remote villages or maybe a particular village, they will people organize this library, so that the people newspaper will reach there and they will sit together. Whatever those who are literate, they will be able to read and just able to read out to the other, pass the message to the illiterate people, other people, so that they can understand, they can able to just take the call given by the national leaders. So every piece of news and editorial comment would read and heard and thoroughly discussed. So whatever the item, whatever the article, whatever the news information was printed in newspapers, they are just go on reading and just they are just started discussing. So what kind of activities, how they will need to just mobilize, how they need to take up the issue, how they will just popularize. So how to take up, how to just move ahead. So they will discuss and they will chalk out the plans as well as, and whatever the news items, whatever the articles, editorial comments, they will just go on just reading and discussing and chalking out their future plan as well as. The newspaper not only became a form of political participation. This is the newspapers become as a political platform, given the political participation. Every paper, every person, every newspaper through there's articles, through editorial, their news items, they're able to just give the information in interesting way. So people able to understand, able to know what is going on Indian soil. So how they will able to go ahead, how to able to take up the call and discuss the among themselves and just take up the initiative to just mobilize the people, mobilize the youth as well as the different section of the society of the different society. The press, as you know, so press during the freedom struggle can be broadly classified into three categories, namely Anglo-Indian press, Indo-Anglo press, and the vernacular press. So they are during the press, during the freedom struggle. So press is classified, press I mean, divided in three categories, namely Anglo-Indian newspapers, Indo-Anglo press, and the vernacular press. Anglo-Indian press is referred to English press in India, which was owned, maintained by Britishers. Anglo-Indian press is referred to English press in India, which was owned and maintained by Britishers. The Anglo-Indian press was English paper in India, which was founded and maintained by Indians. The vernacular press is referred to the newspaper published in various Indian languages. So this is, I mean, how Indian newspaper was categorized during pre-independence struggle. Yes, yes. The Anglo-Indian vernacular press were strong supporters of the struggle. So Indo-Anglo press and the vernacular press were strong supporters of the struggle. The Anglo-Indian newspapers were established by Britishers in the 19th century. The important newspaper among them were the Englishman, Statesman in Calcutta, the Madras Mail, Madras Times in Madras, the Times of India in Mumbai, the Civil and Military Gazette in Lahore, and the Pioneer in Allahabad. These are the papers during this freedom struggle. The Hindu wrote in 1909, the most of the Anglo-Indian papers seems to consider themselves as the watchdogs of the British government in this country. So 1909, so he written, the Hindu newspaper written, they consider as the watchdogs of the government, watchdogs of the British government in this country. The English being a link language in India, the Indo-Angloan press played a pivotal role in creating and promoting the Indian nationalism and supporting the freedom struggle. So it's in Indian language is the only link language, the more popular language. Those literate in those days able to consider as a link language. That way, try to just promote Indian nationalism and support the freedom struggle. The press, the Hindu in press, the Amrit Bazaar Patrika, the Hindu Patriot, Calcutta, the Mumbai Chronicle in Mumbai, the Leader in Allahabad, the Independent and the National Herald in Lucknow, the Tribune in Lahore were some of the important papers among the Indo-Anglo newspapers. So the Indo-Anglo newspapers, so how from the Hindu in Madras, so the different part of the countries, they started just publishing the English newspaper so that can be able to just highlight the issues, highlight the issues of those days. Next, we'll discuss about the Bipin Chandrapal. So Bipin Chandrapal was the Calcutta correspondent of the Hindu. Initially, he was a correspondent of the Hindu of Madras. So Sri Rajagopal edited the Gandhiji's Young India, which was published from the Ahmedabad, promoted nationalism among the leaders and the people belonging to various regions and languages. So that way, so Bipin Chandrapal was considered first correspondent of the Hindu newspaper. Then Rajagopalachari edited the Gandhiji's Young India, which was published from Ahmedabad, promoted nationalism and among the leaders as well as the people belonging to various regions and languages. Next, Bal Gangadhar Tilak. So Bal Gangadhar Tilak was born at Ratnagiri in Mumbai Presidency. So initial education was done in Pune. So in the year 1876, he passed the graduation BA examination, securing the first class. After BA, he studied law and passed LLB examination in the year of 1879. Tilak and Agarkar, the two friends, felt that they should do something in education field for upliftment of their motherland. So that way they think about the starting of a newspaper, the kind of the both together. The Tilak decided to start two newspapers, Kesari in Marathi and Maratha in English. Two newspapers started. The Tilak had explained about the nature of Kesari as a Kesari will fearlessly and impartially discuss all problems. The kind of way the name itself indicates, that the name itself will explain the way it will fearlessly, impartially discuss all problems of society. That way he will point the name, particularly Kesari. So next we just move on to Anne Besant. So Anne Besant was born in 1849. Sorry, sorry. Born in 1847, the second president of the Theosophical Society, whose means formed Theosophical Society of India. So from 1907 to 1933, she was outstanding orator of her time, a champion of human freedom, educationist, philanthropist, and author with more than 300 books and pamphlets to her credit. She was a great orator. She was a great orator in English. So they were in Madras. She given her house to the for freedom activities as well as, so that way whoever this they will invite Anne Besant to just speak about, to address the public gatherings. So that way that through her great oratorship and through her speeches, they will she be able to just attract the huge population, try to just mobilize the people towards the freedom struggle. So she also this great freedom strugglist, as she also great freedom fighter, and considered as a philanthropist and author of with more than 300 books. Sorry. So a new period in Anne Besant life began in 1913. So when she became active in Indian politics and gave a lead by claiming home rule for India in 1916. So that given the name home rule for Indians. So home rule means it will be ruled by the people, local people. The home rule kind of thing she was given 1916. The home rule movement she organizes spread all over India. She used all her resources to bring together on the common platform of the All India Home Rule League, the two sections of the Indian National Congress, which had been divided since 1907. So that way, home rule kind of home rule home rule kind of a movement she has organized and tried to spread through the India. Later, she was selected president of the Indian National Congress, inspiring the Indians with a dynamic vision of India's future. So that way, Indian futures through the she became the Indian National Congress president as well as, and just through her dynamic speech, through her dynamic vision. So he also just given Chalk the plan how to just proceed further. So she started the Young Men's Indian Association in 1914 to train them for public work and donated Gokhale Hall in Madras as a center for national awakening and free speech. So her house was donated as a Gokhale Hall in Madras as a center for national awakening and free speech. So in 1914, Mr. Anne Besant acquired the Madras Standard and Daily and renamed it a New India. So that way, the New India. So acquired the Madras Standard newspaper, a daily, and she renamed it as a New India. Yeah, M.K. Gandhi. So we discuss about the M.K. Gandhi next class. So other things. So next slide, next PPT that was supposed to, actually I was started early. So after completing Gandhi and few other people, so move on to next slide. So next class, tomorrow next class, we'll just discuss about the M.K. Gandhi, other political, other major leaders, right?
Okay, sir.
Okay, right. Thank you.
Okay.
Sir, PPT, sir.
Yeah, share చేస్తాను. Just I want to please share చేస్తున్నాను, sharing.
మళ్ళీ మీరు మీటింగ్ ఎండ్ చేస్తే అది రాదు సార్, డౌన్లోడ్ చేసుకుని.
లేదు, మీటింగ్ దీంట్లో రాదు. సో నేను మన వాట్సాప్ గ్రూప్ ఉందిగా, వాట్సాప్ గ్రూప్ లో పెడతాను.
థ్యాంక్ యూ సార్.
దట్ ఈస్ ఈజీ కదా.
Okay.
రైట్.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
Happy? క్లాసెస్ అయిపోయినాయా అని ఇప్పుడు? క్లాసులు అయిపోయినాయా?
రెండు అయిపోయినాయి.
రెండు అయిపోయినాయా?
నెక్స్ట్ కంటిన్యూ అవుతుంది సార్.
నెక్స్ట్ ఎప్పుడు?
1 o'clock. 1 o'clock.
ఈ ఆన్లైన్ క్లాసెస్ ప్రాబ్లం ఉన్నది, తెలుగు
నెట్వర్క్ ప్రాబ్లం ఉన్నాయి చాలా, అందుకే కనెక్ట్ అయితే డిస్కనెక్ట్ అవుతున్నాయి పని.
ఇప్పుడు నెక్స్ట్ 1 o'clock.
1 o'clock ఉంది.
సేమ్ యూట్యూబ్ లో లైవ్ కూడా జరుగుతుంది, అక్కడ కూడా వినొచ్చు మనం.
1 to 2.
ఈ పీపీటీ అంటే ఏందన్నా?
ఇప్పుడు మనకి ఏదైతే షో చేశారో అదే పీపీటీ.
పీపీటీ ఇంకా పెట్టలేదు కదా ఇందులో.
పెట్టలేదు. వాట్సాప్ గ్రూప్ లో సెండ్ చేస్తా అన్నారు.
ఓకే.
వాట్ ఈస్ ది పీపీటీ ఫుల్ ఫామ్?
మన ప్రెజెంటేషన్, ఫస్ట్ ప్రెజెంటేషన్
PowerPoint.
చేశారు కదా ఇప్పుడు. మనకి ఏదైతే ప్రెజెంటేషన్ చేశారో ఇప్పుడు అది ఇన్ డీటెయిల్ గా చదువుకోవడానికి మనకు అది డాక్యుమెంట్ పరంగా మనకు పంపమని చెప్పాం పీడిఎఫ్ లో.
దాని పీపీటీ అంటారా?
మనకు ప్రజెంటేషన్ చేసిందంటే పీపీటీ అంటారు సార్.
ఓకే.
ఓ,
ఇప్పుడు 1/2 లంచా?
లంచ్ 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4. 1 hour అన్నారు.
అదే 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4. ఇప్పుడు నెక్స్ట్ క్లాస్ ఎవరు?
నెక్స్ట్ క్లాసు బేసిక్స్ ఆఫ్ కమ్యూనికేషన్ అండ్ జర్నలిజం.
బేసిక్స్ ఆఫ్ కమ్యూనికేషన్.
ఆ తర్వాత
ఇది
బ్రాడ్కాస్ట్ మీడియా, తర్వాత రైటింగ్ అండ్ రిపోర్టింగ్ ఫర్ మీడియా.
బేసిక్స్ అంటే ఆమెనా? ఆంధ్రానా? ఓకే. ఓకే,
థ్యాంక్ యూ.
Vale, vale.